brings us to the diversity of deceptive acts. And as I mentioned, lots of different reasons why people lie. These can range from positive lies, I guess, or you might lie because you want to get to know someone better. So you might say that you're more interested in something than you are. Or like I was mentioning before about telling my want to know all about your nursery, when I don't really care. I don't have, I feel like I'm kind of making more out of the whole nursery thing than is really there. It's like, I just want her to be happy and I just trust her design sense, more than my own. So it's not that I'm mad. It's not that I don't want to hear about it. It's just, I don't really care, but I am happy that she's happy. Something like that. You might lie to protect your privacy. Like you don't want someone that you don't know very well may ask you if you're okay. And you don't have to say, well, actually, this really terrible thing happened. Let me tell you all the details about it. Social norms sometimes dictate that we're not completely honest about everything and we just say fine when we're not fine. Sometimes you might want to avoid conflict. You might want to make yourself look better. There are, again, different shades and gradations of why you might choose to lie. You might lie because you want to hurt someone. So you might have some vindictiveness or some maliciousness going on there and you want to lie. So there's basically two different kinds of lies. There's simulation and dissimulation. Simulation is creating something. You're falsifying, you're making up a story about why something happened. And of course, I'm sure you've never done this, but I hear lots of stories from students about why they can't get their homework done, some of which I'm sure are true, and some of which are totally falsified. And I can't always explain to you how I know it, but I do. Just know that even if I'm like, okay, I understand, a lot of times I can tell if you're telling the truth or not because it's happened to me so often. And I know that some students are telling the truth about it. I really do. I'm not saying that every time students send an excuse, it's a lie, but I know that it is a lie 90% of the time. I just always encourage students hey, don't send me an excuse. I don't really need to know an excuse. And again, I care about you as a person, as a student. I want you to move on in your educational journey and I want to be a part of helping you meet those needs. But I don't need to know the ins and outs of what happened in your stomach. Don't send me a picture of what's in your toilet. These are things that have happened. And I don't care how many times you vomited. I just don't want to know that information. So don't tell me, don't try to make it up. Don't tell the truth. Don't tell a lie about it. I just don't care. I care that you're sick and I hope you feel better. I don't need to know the details. Is basically what I'm saying. People make stuff up, they'll falsify something or they'll exaggerate. So take a nugget of the truth and make it a little bit bigger than it actually was. I mean, I'm a human. I find myself doing this sometimes. Oh, you should have seen this storm. It was crazy. The windows were shaking and blah, blah, blah. We just sort of blow stuff up. I'm more prone to doing that because I'm a storyteller and I like to make stories sound exciting. So I think sometimes to myself, was that actually exactly how it went down? Or am I adding to that? And I think I probably add to it sometimes. The opposite of that is dissimulation, which is leaving important things out, lying by omission, or not really answering the question in a way that's honest and truthful. Someone says hey, what do you think of this outfit? Oh, looks expensive. You're not really telling them what you actually think about something. So that's equivocating. So despite our belief that we can detect lies, and I know I just made a comment about being able to detect lies, it's actually pretty difficult to detect deception from people. And for me, a lot of times it's repetition and familiarity with having heard something so many times that leads me to believe that. It really depends on the person and it depends on a number of different factors. So if you've ever seen the show Lie to Me, which I highly recommend, it's kind of an older show at this point, but it's so good and it's so relevant to this class, having to do with communication, nonverbals, reading people's faces, that kind of stuff. For the most part, we're not really great lie detectors, human lie detectors. We want to believe that people are honest and that people are putting their best foot forward. And again, that's why I very rarely call students out on their lies because for a reason you may be putting forth towards something, sometimes the outcome is the same, or I'm not here trying to make you feel bad or make your day worse or whatever. And sometimes for me, it's just better to err on the side of believing that someone's being honest. Ways that you can detect deception. For one, if the information is not consistent, if you can find some chinks in the armor of that person's story. So that can be one way to detect falsity. People tend to commit more speech errors, so having long pauses, ums, uhs, that sort of thing. But Not always, because that can just mean someone's trying to think through what they want to say. So that's not necessarily an indicator that someone's lying. Deception often increases in vocal pitch. So if someone's telling a lie, they might speak a little bit higher and they might say it a little bit more like this. That can be difficult, again, to tell, especially if you're not familiar with that person or if you're communicating online. Some eye behaviors that are associated with lying, like blinking too much, having a wider pupil, those things, again, can be difficult to detect if you don't know the person really well, or if you're just not good at being able to catch that. Sometimes people's smiles will give it away. Like if they have just like a little bit of a fake smile, and they try to keep really still because we've been told that fidgeting a lot means that you're lying. So they might try to be really, really still. Again, like, I don't think any one of these behaviors can indicate that someone's lying. It's more about knowing that person, or I wouldn't say I'm great at detecting lies, but I have a pretty good intuition about people. I know that I've caught a couple of people before. Way back when I was a child, I always had this really just gross feeling about my Sunday school teacher. And I was just like, something's off about this guy. He snapped at me one time in a way that like put me on edge. And ever since then I was like, I don't think he's who he says he is. And it was like 10 years later, I was in my mid-20s when I got vindication. He had been embezzling from the church for decades and finally got caught. And I mean, his family lived this kind of extravagant lifestyle, and his wife never worked. And she always kind of made my mom feel bad because she was like, well, if God loves you, he provides. And I was like, is it God providing, or is it your husband providing? So from God. So I don't know, just stuff like that. So anyway, I've kind of gotten off topic. But yeah, so there are some common behaviors, but actually becoming a trained lie detector is something that's difficult to do. And for me, like I said, I think it's more about like a whole variety of behaviors and being able to know that person really well and compare their honesty to their lying that can help you to detect that. But in the next video, we'll talk a little bit about how you can detect lies and in what contexts.